Let's talk about the exact moment Nazi Germany was defeated. By late April 1945, the Allies had met on the Elbe, the Soviets were deep in Berlin, and German troops were surrendering across the continent. The Berlin garrison surrendered on the 2nd of May. Hitler and Goebbels were dead, Göring and Himmler were on the run, and Admiral Dönitz was trying to form a government in what was left of Germany. On the 7th of May, he sent General Jodl to surrender in Reims, France, but this was viewed by the Allies as an attempt to put a wedge between the Brits and the Americans on one side and the Soviets on the other. Well, the Allies were having none of that. They wanted an unconditional surrender in the Nazi capital, in Berlin. They wanted to avoid a repeat of what had happened after the First World War, where Germany was defeated in France and many Germans marched home thinking that they hadn't lost the war, that in fact they'd been cheated, that they had been stabbed in the back by Jews. A surrender in the Nazi capital would mean that the German people knew that they had been defeated. And so General Keitel was flown into Berlin and driven through the ruined streets with bullet holes covering buildings that were displaying white flags from the windows, and eventually he was brought right here to what used to be an officer training school of the Wehrmacht and was now Soviet military headquarters in a destroyed Berlin. Here, inside the main hall, a single-page unconditional surrender had been prepared. Keitel marched into the room to sign it wearing a monocle and carrying a baton, looking absolutely ridiculous. He sat down, he signed it, and just like that, Nazi Germany came to an end. After the surrender was signed, the Nazis were kicked out the room and the Allies put on a great big party hosted by the Soviets. There was food, there was wine, there was brandy, and of course there was vodka. They drank and partied all night. At dawn, apparently, they came out and started firing their weapons into the air. World War II in Europe was over.